point platform. Oh yeah. Unale we pledge with love and loyalty to we sweet, sweet mama salute. Now we all come together as one. For tomorrow, now we go make salute.
Yes, family, now welcome back to yet another very important segment where they can do the Talking Point platform. My name is Mohamed Kago, and today is the 2nd of November 2021. We get two main items in the agenda in the program where we now will get the opportunity for making our own contribution. First, we look at the EU reports where the blast the government and then sort of like put a red warning sign for the country democracy. And secondly, we don't get a statement from the government that there will be another ultra modern airport. So with all this, you get a chance, like I said, for sending you a message and tell me what you think. And also, if you didn't know YouTube, don't forget for check there at TPP Leon. You will get the opportunity for watch this program live and direct. We come shortly for analyze and play for some of the videos we'll get here.
Oh yeah, Talking Point platform. Oh yeah. Unale we pledge with love and loyalty to we sweet, sweet mama salute. Now we all come together as one. For tomorrow, now we go make salute.
Yes, so family, Lowy Oshine, we brother, Dr. Alpha. You can greet people who are listening far and wide. Yeah, you hear me? Doc, you get me? Hello? All right, it seems as if Doc get problem. Okay, now we move on quickly. Family, first thing first, now we start with one report where the EU just don't release, when at the European Union. We all know, say, Salo na a donor-driven country. Most of the projects them where we do na Salon, they have been sponsored by friends and other development partner. EU now one strong body where they sponsor we development projects there, at least for consolidate and upgrade we democracy. EU now impartial institution. They're not there for politics. They're not there for support the government. They're not there for support the opposition. In other words, they just want to see a country stable. In other words, we continue at least for rule reserve in terms of a good democratic practice. Because at the end of the day, while if you say that country they spend money to we now the spillover effect. Now you go say probably you know EU, but if one country affected, particularly now they live in the age of global village now, you're not safe. Now look for instance, when the COVID come, everywhere in the world, all four corners is church. Now that make the institution they understand the EU particularly they don't want to see conflicts now any country, particularly in Africa, because they know say even though they're not in Africa, then they're EU, it will affect them in some way or the other. Now that make whether institution they come, then they try for make sure say they support we institutions and for growth. Because when you talk about democracy, you are talking about institutions then. If the institutions are not function, then nothing. So then pull a report. Now this report now like a follow-up on a recommendation what they do in 2018. What did they expect for the government of Salon they do? Now yes, the government of Salon is not about APIS or SLPP. It's about the country as a whole, the people living in governance. Now they don't release this finding. Then say, according to their own findings, what they do, 4 main institutions where the Salon people they lost faith in. And this, it just feel like not a surprise, because you and I, when they listen to this program, we know say yes, not true. One of the institutions with a name, now the judiciary of Salon. They say the Salon people had lost confidence in the judiciary of Salon. And we all know the cases, how many tons of cases are in the courts. And we know Salon, I mean, some cases, because of political connection, they lost her. Or because of maybe you not get money for win the case or even for hire a good lawyer. I mean, they lost the case. We don't see. We don't see the way politics they play inside the judiciary. The judiciary, now the three arm of government, were supposed to be independent. Now, one of the things will be caused the war back then, now because of injustice in the country, that I made the TRC report be mentioned that name the judiciary as one body will be responsible for bringing war. More than 100,000 people then lost their lives. So we feel bad when, again, the same institution where part of the institution where cause the war, still they do the bad practice, the thing the way will create war again. The other institution where the EU name, now the PPRs. Now the PPRs, a lot of people, now the political party registration commission, where they for oversee political party, made them work within the framework of the law, that Salon people had their faith, then confidence, then trust don't reduce. The other one are neck, then faith. I mean, the faith in the people, Salon people, according to the findings of the EU, most Salon people, they don't lost faith in neck. Even we not go into election yet. Now, this come up from even the small elections they wouldn't make. The Godwich election, Koinadugu election, we see ministers, parliamentarians, councillors, that was chaos. Yeah, this is not what we are saying. This is what from independent observers knew. For example, the National Election Watch, then pull a statement, condemn the action of the government officials that would interfere, destroy ballot box them, burn property them. That one. The last one is the police. You to know, say this clear. Look at them, this I will play one clip where we see one OC they beat post. Can you imagine they beat one serious man? Where and I mean, it not be just make any sense. But anyway, let me take this one first. Now, when this report come, we get a conflicting opinion here. Now, I want to play some of the clip where Sano, the communication, the strategic communication officer and the judiciary, they defend the government, but it's so shameful. It's so shameful. Me, when I watch the interview, I shame. I don't know how to go. I mean, you see the level of the level of incompetence in the way the man even answered simple questions. I mean, for even blast the EU say they're not responsible, then an insult. For even tell people that the world say EU, they're not professional. I don't know what's in this man generally did. Anyway, let's not talk much. When I go get the chance, let I play the video here so that when I go see exactly what they talk about. First, let me go and try for set up the video here. Okay, let me play for another video. Lona FC and Eri. All right. They try to film the video. Try to film the video. All right. Okay. Logo on this. Let's see. No, not this one. Not this one. Not this one. No, not this one. Not this one. Okay, Nabia is small. We try for film the clip. We try to film the clip now. All right, I think we get the clip now. All right, now we play on for now. Lona said, listen first how this thing unfold. All right, let me take this one.
Page you can send with good morning salon. You can send with source investments in the coming years.
The projection, I'm not going to give you a clear projection because the COVID-19 don't go down it don't reduce. As far as I am concerned, if we are talking about projection, which I don't talk earlier, it will increase. It will increase next year because since
Okay, fam, we'll still get some issue for play this one. Maybe we go jump to the next one, but let just wanna bear with me a little bit more. Let me try at least for you now the right video. One moment, we want to make sure see when I get the words from the horse's mouth. Let not be like saying now we can talk for
the Ministry of Health and Sanitation don't say measles don't come back to the country after we they don't confirm 3 new cases them now.
It's up to draw follow. Of course, it is a lot of investment.
We really sorry for this. Wanna be with us?
Sanitation don't say measles don't come back to the country after we they don't come.
All right, Swambule, let's move on to the next one first. We still get problem with Dandy, with technical team, they work on it. Now, back then, last month, we see one video be they make rounds on social media where people and they say investors they don't come out for Can Deal Airport, ultra modern airport from where they connect from Bo and Kenema. But a lot of people and dismiss this video, say, no, this is not just some funny guys and they do this. Even some of we not taken serious. Now, this video make rounds on the social media where warrant the statements from the civil aviation, okay, the Sierra Leone Civil Aviation Authority, the body where government put for look out of thing they would fly. Now, them pull a statement, one, and explain, say, what did they go on? That was not true. Law will play for alone and see. That will read them quickly before we come for analyze the other part of them. We doubt a lot of people right now, so they talk. All right. Now, let we play this. Okay. Now, on the see. Okay. This was a press release back then where the Sierra Leone Civil Aviation Authority released. That was the 20th of October, where they say they don't draw their attention on one video where they make rounds on the social media, and they want just make them very clear, say the company where they do the site clearing now Bandajuma and Nyanduma Chiefdom along the Bo-Kenema Highway for the construction of an international airport for commercial flight operation. Then get this information, but they want to tell people and say the Sierra Leone Civil Authority, now the only competent body where government established by an act of parliament for advice government on area and for provide an oversight of aviation industry. So in short, they want anybody where they claim or where they go along with this sort of sentiment that there is something like this going on. Okay. People and take and say, okay, now the Sierra Leone aviation don't put statements, don't sort of like condemn this, that this is not true. Now, only a few days ago, we see another one, the Komon-Tok. This one again, is completely different from what we are in. Now, from what we are under, the government of Salon, done through the minister of the chief minister in office, don't come between the aviation authority as well as the one body where they say that they can sponsor the project. They call it Africa Gulf. The Africa Gulf, then they do a public-private partnership for create an ultra-modern airport where go join the two cities so that they will tap the resources within that region. But this is so confusing because this is not something that even the Parliament of Salon deliberate on. We just see everything was just on social media, and we don't know. Maybe not just a play or kitchen. I mean, not just a tactic, because it's so funny. We are expecting a government to be more responsible. Project like this has to be tailored before that's still tabled before Parliament, analyze the cost effective or even the priority. Now, we're not against this because when these governments come, we then kind of part and talk about austerity. In fact, there was already a project, feasibility studies was even done on Mama Maya Port, where China for sponsor sort of like $300 to $400 million. When President Biokan, one of the first major projects we cancelled, that was the project to Maya Port, a site, say the country financial burden where heavy money not it. So we don't understand absolutely what in cause, what are the motivation, the incentive where the government of Salone, they say them for go build airport Nabo Kenema. It completely confusing people there. One, I feel say in this case, there is misplaced priority here. If you check the ordinary man down the street, they were not concerned or people are not interested in the airport. Now that made people be even applaud the president where he canceled the Mama airport because people are actually, okay, they're not too, of course, we want for get instant international standards. But first and first, you want to look at what? The basic necessities of life. If we cannot feed ourselves, young man not get food, family and they go angry, you will take hundreds of millions of dollars, go put on road where BC will not able, will not get 24 hours light. How we go attract more investors there? How we attract more flight? Yeah, not to any busy transit point per se. So that was a project where some people say it was good, some people say no, therefore just left out. So if the president just towards the end of in time, a social media post that was deemed to be just like a joke has now turned to reality, the chief minister endorsed the program that there will be an ultra-modern, imagine the word ultra-modern airport where will sustain the two cities there, where will create an hub for international travelers there. This is shameful to for Puta in the lowest point. I don't know how they see Salon people here. I don't know how they manage me. I don't know. It's just too baffling here. I mean, we don't know exactly what team the government they try to achieve. Maybe this is not political. Because they say the best way they can do right now, if they come up with an idea about ultra modern, because mind you, I want to see the technique. Bo Kenema, now the stronghold, then two places here. Bo Kenema, the stronghold of the regime. So if they bring down some of these, then injected, there will be thousands of jobs created because we are coming very close to the election. This will boost their base because they don't want to lose their base force. Now, because now one way they tell, I just analyze broadly because this I don't see any kind of feasibility studies. We don't see the need you get for, because any project you get for gets first you get what they call felt need in any project. If a felt need, you get induced need. These are two things you want to watch at when you're talking about project. Is this a felt need for Salon people? Is this what the ordinary person is looking looking for? The answer, you and me know the answer. That is one. And then look at the other projects there. The Lunge Bridge, you not even talk about where them put polo. I mean, it was all over on the social media that there will be a Lunge Bridge. The Lunge Bridge will not see nothing. The expansion of Lunge Bridge, I mean, Lunge Airport again, will not see that project they materialize. Now we don't get another one. I mean, it's not about talking. It's about, I mean, action. Sierra Leoneans are tired of talk. We want to see concrete action being done in the country. This is what we are asking for. We are not asking for too much. If you're a politician, you promise the people 2 years, 4 years back that I will change your life, I will do this, I will do that. You have to work through those promises. This is what make you to be a credible, responsible, somebody with integrity, somebody who actually mean what he or she is saying. But if we affect Winamo just for play and twist the Salon mind, I mean, this in any way look at you know, they bring the country to anything, because we don't see any justification felt need of the necessity why we need an airport at that far. What happened with the Mama if not to politics? I mean, So that make a lot of people, they accuse this government of being a tribalistic government, because you see even some of these actions there. But again, I will probably want for Bet Naya. I want for Bet Naya for say this airport not to airport where get for be in reality. It's not a realistic thing, because we don't know how much money involved. You're not going to parliament. Remember the Lincoln Wing students there. They were suffered for 3 years and more because the government alleged say the previous government did not took the institution to parliament for parliament to approve it, or for cabinet even to discuss it. It's a one-man show. That is why they were unable to pay for those students back then. So imagine an airport like this come. Let's say, for example, they started the project, and let's say, for example, because this is not something you can say it's not possible. Assuming there is a change of government, let's say APC comes in or NGC, whatever, and they look at this. This airport was contrary to the laws of Salon. Therefore, we are going to disband or even scrap it. I mean, we're just wasting time. And I don't know, sometimes we leaders in the lost focus. What's not important, none of they talk about. What's important, they be left out. People then look at, even this government win election based on bread and butter issue. This is what the promises are on people. I think the president for even put more attention on agriculture rather than, okay, right now, so they talk 7 northern the country. Down in a different case, we don't talk about fly talk. We don't tire for talk about. We don't try for generalize the necessity of us having an airport when other pressing issue. What is happening with the extension of the Lungi? All right, fabulous. Now we'll move on to the next the next one where now the PPRC. I'm sorry, the EU report where even the president was not pleased with, because he even accused the EU of doing something which for the against the governments. Let's play for this one. Let's play for this. I hope this one will give us chance. When I be out today we get some technical problems. That why the videos then no one come to our one day, but I'm very hopeful probably this one will be okay. All right. Okay. Okay. The try for. Okay. Let me try for play this one moment. Okay.
Made such.
Bye. Our apologies, my people. Our apologies. You see, they try best for bring Cantona. The statement of the president, we condemn the EU action for bring can this report, and we won't check. Now bear with me when I can see this video. When I can see the video. When I can see this video. All right, I think we get it now. Okay,
For the most part.
And Mr. President, finally on another topic, I just want to ask you about the election process in your country. The EU election follow-up mission just released its key findings, and they were damning. There's massive skepticism over the independence of the
Yeah, family. Until I someone understand, sometimes you get some technical issues here.
For the most part.
And Mr. President, finally on another topic, I just want to ask you about the election process in your country. The EU election follow-up mission just released its key findings, and they were damning. There's massive skepticism over the independence of the National Electoral Commission in Sierra Leone. What are you doing to address that ahead of the 2023 election, and will you ensure that the recommendations made are implemented?
Well, it's unfortunate that the EU made such damning statements, as if called it. The Electoral Commission is independent. It's been staffed long before I got to the office. Few commissioners, the tenure of few commissioners had expired, and of course there is a process for replacing them. They have to be nominated and go to Parliament, and that is what we have done for the most part. They also spoke about the police. The police, we haven't done much about it since we received it, since we inherited governance. So the same police that was there that they never commented on is what now they're saying is too partial. Maybe the leadership I have had to appoint. And they're talking about also the judiciary. We haven't done much about the judiciary in terms of personnel change. So it's a pity, and I'm going to engage them because these institutions are responsible for credible elections, but we have not tinkered with them in any way to skew any elections in our favor. The opposition, we always grumble about these institutions because these are critical institutions for elections. And when anybody is afraid of elections, they try to bring the credibility of these institutions to the fore. And that is what they have done. And they've taken it wholesale and just made it a report. So that is unfortunate, but I want to engage the EU.
All right, Mr. President Julius Bio, we will follow up with you on that in the coming months. Good to have you on the program. Thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome.
All right, Doc, are you with us? You there with me? Hello? You there with me? Hello? Okay, I think Doc. Okay, family, low push ahead. Lower
Yes. Are they, although I they get you sound the echo? Yeah, are they around?
Okay, all right. Welcome
Are
to
they
the
around?
show. And the EU don't release their follow-up program where the government of Salona are happy, but when I don't agree, the president condemn them and even say for engage them. You understand? Like for come talk about their own side and four bodies them where may say yes, them bodies and another life partner, the police, the neck now don't make last week we'll bring on a program where the five commissioners, four of them now mende there. The one dispute, some people say na Limba, some people say na Imana Mende, four of them. And we won't believe say not to one tribe that the country qualify for man them position in there. So that one day alone for us, we don't send a red flag. People at the beginning don't say, all right, they don't accuse this government from the one when they start on tribalism. Why then would just take many people, in other words, people that were associated with SLPP for man them position in there. We not accuse them, say they get for do anything, but at least this now just steps away. People are not going to let it happen because. If you watch the last election, we see say the electoral commission was at least sort of like inclusive. We have Creoles, we have Temnes, we have Mendes, we have Limbers. It was much more at least sort of like Sierra Leonean. But if you have a neck now where we see 5 of the commissioners, 4 of them are Mendes, it send a sort of signal. I mean, if we not get no other person at the country qualify, that now one case. But we get people that we don't work with other tribes there. We know they say government of select people there. But if we focus our attention on one tribe and we left another one tribe in the country, then we create a room for suspicion, a room for argument, a room for accusation, a room for finger. What's now you take about this damning report where the EU release? We go come and play the judiciary of Salon, the spokesperson in comment on this. Over to you.
Well, I think say just like the presidency, it's unfortunate for the nation of Sierra Leone. But this show a signal to we rulers them say in this day and age you can't easily donors and development partners speaking protocol and say we moral guarantors them decide for turn a blind eye or maybe then favor you on for certain reason then go turn a blind eye. But other than that, if you go any length and breadth for try for say stifle the opposition by using the police or the judiciary, make sure say we democracy thrive and develop, and make sure say we as Sierra Leoneans them get trust in the institution, and they do them one kind anki banky way, then I'm afraid those people are there, they get them people in at the ground and things they grow, and over the course of the 3 years we don't see the mishappenings them we don't take place, and these reports obviously don't come to light and don't try for buttress to some of the points we a lot of people and don't get worried about, don't voice opinion, including we here on this platform, about some of the mishappenings them with the government don't they make with regards to politics and democracy. So I believe say then just get for look themselves now into the mirror, go back now the drawing board and try for do the right thing. It's one thing where the president say go engage the people them the European Union with regards the report, but I believe say it's another thing also for making them sit down as a cabinet or to even at a party level and thrive for no say we get more important things to do, and if we do such and bring development for the country, then obviously we go able win election rather than for machinate and plots of how for win elections and how for stifle oppositions or democracy. I'm afraid it will not augur well for the nation, but more particularly it will not augur for them as politicians with regards to them political careers, because say what you may,
Okay, I think
to some extent they able determine waiting they take place vis-a-vis governance in our country and our continent, South Africa as a whole.
all right, Fam will allow play some of the words of the judiciary of Salon spokesperson where they try to defend the government in your low share quick now with Tuna, low Kaya, low share with Tuna quickly. We want Sharon quickly with Tuna. Okay, I'll start from 10 minutes.
Loss in life, then destinies then shattered because of the peace we have. And once the institutions say the trust in them don't decline, it means say with democracy really they in jeopardy.
All right, continue for the between at the studio. Augustine Sorisembe Mara will come back to you. The program Good Morning Salon they continue, and today at the program as we told earlier, we look at concerns them where the EU election observation mission they pull as follow up after when they don't make but 29 recommendation them to government, but waiting them in fairness now the 2018 elections ahead of the 2023 now. They may expect changes for that will not go affect the 2023 election, but the reports where they pull they indict some institutions then where they in charge for ensure Salon people and get free and fair election, where they say the institutions here, so Salon people done the lost trust in them. The judiciary now one of the institutions then where the EU reports don't indict for say Salon people have done the lost trust in this institution, and they make mention of the judgments when come out in court after the 2018 election where they be replaced 10 MPs them from the opposition All People's Congress and send people in a parliament so they not been run any election for again. Well, the spokesman for the judiciary in the studio this morning, El Casano, now the head of communications na the judiciary. Good morning once more and welcome to Good Morning Salon.
Good morning. Happy for that.
All right, I guess the judiciary don't see the release where the EU mission pull after we then we don't pull about 29 recommendations into government after the 2018 elections, and the judiciary as I stated earlier now one pan the institution them we Salon people currently from waiting them fair not satisfied with what they do and then they lost us in the judiciary. Firstly, how I receive that kind of recommendation they wouldn't indict on an institution?
That's not a recommendation, my findings. When we read the press release, we admit, say, indeed, EU don't they work with Sierra Leone, that we must admit that over the years, and the relationship don't continue and still continue. We get concerns. Among the many concerns them, what we look at, now that we get the conviction, say, the EU report not being technical and not professional.
Why on that concern?
Fine, because EU go outside the required scope of mandate.
Waiting at the required scope of mandate.
Now, when they come, firstly, we get for know they say the people that we then speak to, they express opinion. They say to them the trust in the judiciary don't decrease, not only in the judiciary with some other institutions. Then even the reference, the provision, the reference that they make to the very act was not only misinforming, it was also inaccurate.
Why you say so?
Now that's at the camp. Then best practice, they always say, when you want to come out with the findings everywhere on the wall, especially when you want to indict a particular institution, they engage them. We get what we call management response. Then from there, then you hear them opinion, then view on that particular indictment or that particular finding, so you don't do.
Mr. Sano, you just make mention of best practice. Under best practice, where you talk about, under the same best practice where you talk about, any of the best practices, the way they refer to, say, in mandatory for any mission where they can do findings in any country, for engage the institution where they can do them findings, but?
Yes, my brother Mara with Sidoya, just don't allude to that. Say, when you come, waiting to form an impartial and unbiased findings when you do or report based on the data we don't get, and because you talk to the people who matter.
Well,
and at the camp, among the people who matter, are experts there.
Well, you are aware
so at the camp,
you are aware that this is not a follow-up
so,
based on waiting.
So assuming this is a follow-up, you get for no first to which period. In fact, for make and vague, they're not even state to which period.
So now that's the judiciary they work for.
That's
what they work for.
The judiciary, they serve the people of
so waiting bad if they can ask the people who are the serve questions where they want answers to.
You know, we are not averse to talking to people. Forget, seek the opinion of different people. But now, for no say the data unverified, you don't even know
all issues there where the EU puts inside this recommendation.
Will tell you the source of the data.
All the issues there, so you self will agree, say, not all issues that were new, just like what I asked Mr. Mara earlier. Now, issues then this where you self don't sit down at the studio. I remember the last day with Mr. Mara, when they call out the judiciary, they point out to some of their issues there where activists then believe say they're wrong. You don't clear back once, you don't can defend them. And are just the same things then the EU puts, nothing or different.
No, a lot of difference there.
Who said the difference there?
The EU wrongly presents to the public an inaccurate provision of the law where they make reference to, where they say they use for pool 10 of the members of parliament.
That did not ever happen.
The statement it not only fallacious,
but they're not members of parliament there.
Based on fine. You please allow me my answer this fire. What exactly happened? There is a precedent in 2013. This precedent by the High Court. At that time, the APC in the governance. Now, what happened? The SLPP, the constituency 05, constituency 015, members of candidates where they present for members of parliament, when Ansula and Captain retired Afiju Kanja. Now, then people the court order say make them give them position to the second person.
No, that's not correct. That's not correct.
They come to Mr. Mara. They come to you. Let just land. They come to you.
Now, how it happened? Them go to court. When them go to court, the Ansula now when the candidate for SLPP, then with the candidate for the two candidates for SLPP, Ansula and Afiju. Then win the elections. When they win the elections, what will happen exactly now that the other neck for stop the election
so
process.
That precedence on a falla.
No, wait, not say now. That the precedent where they now that they may not already pull High Court get a precedent.
Okay.
Where they may not pull people where the second person now in and give the very position. So the same High Court, when they give the ruling, they not depart. Now, Mara made some statement then we're not correct, we're misinforming as well. It don't mean say across the wall, when people in the council report, when researchers in the council report, they disagree with those reports.
All right.
And when you disagree with those reports, no mean say you institutions they against the work. But what you disagree with, you disagree with the very content, with the very procedure where they use, the very data, very much unverified. You therefore raise concerns. Like for example, you don't know the people where EU talk to. We don't know the people how they come up with those unverified data.
Right.
So these are all concerns where they raise for able to make sure you do the thing where go stand the test of time.
Quickly,
Not just go make report because you want to make report. And what you want to family also know now that SLPP, this petition where they talk about, SLPP lost 11 of them petitions there. SLPP also petition 11.
Mr. Salon.
You understand?
Thank you.
11 of the very.
If you want a commercial break, but before they say the commercial break, as you talk say EU go out of the scope, so that lie, the thing with them, lie on the judiciary.
If the
lie powder, whether or not they inside the scope, lie powder. No, just explain let the people understand the lie.
Yes.
Okay, continue for the between the studio. The program Good Morning Salon, they continue from the report till we come back to the studio guest them. We come over to Stories Sembe Mara. We also get El Kasano from the judiciary. We don't look at the issues we get for do with findings where the EU election follow-up mission been pulled last week Friday and as we continue the discussion, we know there are different institutions, they indict this report and waiting need for be done. Now over to you, Mr. Mara, as we don't say since the program starts, we don't follow up issues of governance. Today we often forget the head of the communications units now judiciary, and it only talk about waiting the judiciary feel and how they take this particular findings. But moving forward, the other institutions and they will indict, we get the police, we expect them, but we'll not see them at the program. We also get the National Electoral Commission, NEC, and other body them. But for the judiciary, for example, if you talk to the one them way na the management team na the judiciary, we get the Chief Justice Day and other people them regarding the team them where these particular findings are so pull na do. What thing you go say to the judiciary in terms of moving forward with the approach to 2023 elections and people they lost in institutions, then we supposed to give people them justice, for example. If it happen for me to the Chief Justice at this stage, after the kind findings here, waiting you go say to them.
Maybe I have to say this before I respond to your question very quickly. So in terms of the decision in 2012, the High Court gets a number of principles. For example, if the High Court give judgment, they bind other High Courts. So other High Courts sitting, whether on the same issue, can depart from that judgment. So that issue of precedent, they apply at the High Court at all. And I'm aware that, for example, in petitions, the appeals within lodge at the Court of Appeal, the lawyers then don't file a case at the Supreme Court. So they don't actually abandon the appeal. They don't go now to Supreme Court for the Supreme Court determine and interpret certain sections in there, right? And I think it's also significant for note say, maybe Sasanomi they talk about they not void the election or they annul the election. They annul the election. And the act say, well, we don't have a problem with the judiciary annul the election. Apart from the mandate for look at the irregularities, them, etc., and then determine whether the election was properly conducted. Then can annul and can void. But the law say we void, need fresh elections. And at that issue day, EU and we self as governance activists they don't take with that approach the way you void and then you see the second person will go occupy. And the 2012 situation different significantly from what happened in 2019. So you think
that decision they from the High Court the intended for declare the second one out for go assume the seats in a parliament be wrong?
Be wrong. And in fact the very words as chairman then, very strong words. To say that the movement has not found any legal justification, statutory or judicial precedent for such a declaration by the High Court. So it was wrong on all fours. The same way we say in 2012, waiting the High Court's been do, the same way we say in 2012, say it was wrong. Equally in 2019, it was wrong as well. And I think say with governance, we not for the continue, we not forget successive wrongs. We forget a point where one regime they can begin do the things away right. Over to you, Mabel. I think say my simple message to the Chief Justice would be, the Lord Chief Justice would be that justice not for be political. Justice for serve every facet.
Okay, Fambulen, follow we just run up the program because I don't know this. The EU don't put Salon in the spotlight. Now, this election with the count 2023 are one of the most contested as far as the situation concerned, because some of them find in the as we all know, not to something, but we see even the judiciary head of the communication units, they defend the government. Certain things and they not to defend. Now, for just try to go back and work on some of the recommendation. It's simple. It's not that the EU is coming to impose or they say power now for do this. No. They are just there as partners in development because any side person they put in money, it must for good for say, when I do this, when I do this. But again, I see even Sano, they say EU they lie for let you tell an old institution like EU for say they lie. I don't know what the EU they can gain from Salon for can lie. What's not the point? Then they are not a secret. Every Sierra Leonean know this. We not get trust in the judiciary. We not get trust in the police. And NEC don't they on the spotlight because of the recent appointments that we don't see, and the elections they would on the by-elections the world elections, we don't see how they result. So definitely, this is not something the EU forged. And for say they're not professional, I mean, what's how they go land? What's how ministers we leaders then or whatever now abroad, now Europe, America, are the people that they go land. I mean, the best practice then, and then they help we strengthen the institutions, give them capacity building. I mean, I don't know what sort of like argument and say EU they're not professional, EU they lie, EU they bias. I mean, these things are just funny. If you don't get nothing for say when something like this come, instead of you being more funny, because EU they listen some of them program here also, like where 98.1 and one radio station they go find wide. I mean, they create some sort of distrust between the EU and the government of Salon. Yeah, okay, because if you come out publicly and say an institution like EU is lying, you know they. I mean, even big persons for tell us say they lie. Now when they force now insult, tell persons say they lie. Of course, you also not true. Instead of you say you didn't lie, and the word where you use alone force get another effect. So anyway, we've seen a lot of differences, arguments for, but the Salon people. And then are the best people for make decision. The EU will not just go and just fabricate this report. They ask Sierra Leoneans, what do you think about these institutions? Do you have confidence in them? Do you have trust in them? Do you have faith in them? This is what the Sierra Leonean people said. They don't get trust in the judiciary. Kamarimba na Indian so up to now, if you're not a political case, if we don't their house, we know they say them for free. We know they say enough for good due process where commit a crime, but for bail policy, for God's sake, up till now, even where the news become saying they don't grant and bail, they say no meeting requirements, it's still in the language, all right. And the PPRC, we don't see of recent time sympathizers of the government, we are given positions there, and we are coming, I mean, not as an institutions to define or support political party, but to support the government of the day. And we see NEC, of course, like we don't talk at the police, we don't see a lot of videos the way police they misbehave, in as much as we know say they do a good job, but we expect them to do more because we security in their hand. So now the last side and now the last sort of institution one where then go into any funny stuff. So family, this is not just a short program. Will not be facing the reach up to this point. So we tell them plenty thank you. We will do a follow-up on the EU issue, and we go also bring Cam to Una again the follow-up on the suppose airport, the Kenema Bo airport. But me don't make up my mind say this now project where now like White Elephants project in order for exist, not just a political stunt, so that at the end of the day we encourage those people back them, because the ruling government are the stronghold. So by saying that we are going to create a new airport for you, you create the sense of feeling, the sense of hope. I mean, you instill some sort of courage on the people and say, oh yeah, if they bring this airport here, these two places will get jobs. The two places, market go boom, all the stuff, the thing. But we don't see anything practical. The Lunge Bridge now, one of the clear evidence for Teddy saying, if government not get money for start the Lunge Bridge, if government not get money for expand the airports, the Lunge airport, which government go put money for go build airport. Of course, we are using saying our public-private enterprise. Public-private enterprise mean the private sector and the public sector, the governments of Salon, and then they work together for build. So government they talk money not there, and we all know that money not there in the country. So where is government getting this money? So we all know that this is just a technique. I mean, just for distract people. But anyway, we go join her back. Una tell her plenty thank you for January. My name is Mohamed Kagbo. Una bye bye. We will speak with you very soon. Bye bye.
Oh yeah, talking point platform.